Today we bring to you the extraordinary tale of one of Rajasthan's greatest folk deities, Baba Ramdev Ji. He is not only revered across Rajasthan, but also deeply worshipped in Gujarat and many other regions of India. Remarkably, Baba Ramdev Ji is venerated with equal devotion by both Hindus and Muslims. Because of this, he is known by many names: Ramsa Pir, Ramdev Pir, Pir of Pirs, the Saint of Saints, and more. So let us listen to this sacred story here on EpicVeda. Long ago in the region of Pokhran, Rajasthan, there ruled a noble king, Ajmal Ji, and his queen, Rani Meena Devi. Though their kingdom was prosperous, their lives carried one deep sorrow. They had no children. This absence of an heir weighed heavily on their hearts, leaving them in constant pain and despair. One monsoon season, as the rains arrived, farmers set out early in the morning with their plows and oxen to till the fields. On their way, they suddenly crossed paths with King Ajmal Ji. Out of respect, all the farmers immediately turned back instead of continuing to their fields. This puzzled the king. He asked them, "Brothers, by the grace of Lord Indra, the rains have come on time this year. This is the most auspicious season to sow seeds. Why are you not heading to your fields to prepare the crops?" One of the farmers hesitantly replied, "Maharaj, we were indeed going to the fields, but this morning we happened to see your face. It is said that if one sees the face of a childless man at dawn, then the day's work will not succeed. That is why we will not go to the fields today." These words struck the king like a dagger to the heart. His eyes filled with grief. Already burdened by the sorrow of being childless, these harsh words deepened his pain even further. But King Ajmal Ji was a devout follower of Lord Krishna. Determined, he resolved, "I will travel to Dwarka myself, and I will seek Lord Krishna's blessing for a child." When he shared his decision with Queen Meena Devi, she lovingly agreed and prepared special ladis, sweet offerings, for the king to carry as an offering to the Lord. King Ajmal Ji then set out on his pilgrimage to Dwarka. After many days of difficult travel, he finally arrived at the grand temple of Dwarkadish, Lord Krishna himself. At the temple gates, he was met by a priest. The king humbly requested, "Please allow me to have a darshan of Lord Krishna." But the priest replied, "Maharaj, the temple doors are already closed for today. You may return tomorrow morning to offer your prayers." Yet King Ajmal Ji's yearning was too great to wait. Again and again he pleaded with the priest. Finally, moved by his sincerity, the priest relented and allowed him to enter the temple. Inside, King Ajmal Ji stood before the magnificent idol of Lord Krishna. Overcome with emotion, he bowed deeply and prayed with all his heart. "O Lord of Dwarka, what sin have I committed that I remain deprived of a child? What mistake have I made that I suffer this punishment? Today, people even consider it inauspicious to see my face or the face of my queen at dawn." Standing before the idol of Lord Krishna, King Ajmal Ji broke down in tears, weeping bitterly for the blessing of a son. His eyes overflowed with sorrow, and his heart ached with despair. Suddenly, he thought he saw the idol of Krishna smile at him. This vision stirred anger in his heart. The king cried out, "O Lord, I stand here begging for the joy of a child, and yet you laugh at me?" Overcome by emotion, the king hurled the plate of lattice he had brought as an offering at the idol. The priest was stunned. Rushing forward, he tried to stop the king, saying, "Maharaj, what are you doing? The Lord is not here in the temple at this hour. At night, he resides in the ocean." Hearing these words, the king's heart grew even more restless. He ran from the temple straight toward the sea. Without a moment's hesitation, he leapt into the waters. The secret of the ocean. As he ventured deeper into the sea, suddenly two radiant gatekeepers appeared before him. They said, "Maharaj, come with us. Lord Sri Hari has summoned you." A mix of astonishment and excitement filled the king's heart as he followed them. Soon, he beheld a wondrous sight: Lord Vishnu himself seated upon the great serpent Sheshnag. But the king's eyes immediately noticed something unusual: a white band tied around the Lord's forehead. With trembling voice, the king asked, "Lord, why is this band tied upon your head? What has happened?" Smiling gently, Lord Vishnu replied, "Raja, only moments ago, one of my devotees struck me with a ladu." At these words, the king's heart shuddered. He collapsed at the Lord's feet, weeping, and begged forgiveness. The king's prayer. Through his tears, the king cried, "My Lord, forgive me. My life is empty without a child. People even consider it a bad omen to see my face at dawn. Please grant me the blessing of a child." Lord Vishnu's smile deepened as he said, "Do not worry, Raja. You shall indeed have a son." The king pressed his hands together and pleaded, "My lord, grant me not only one son, but two, and let one of them be as divine as you with compassion." Lord Vishnu answered, "Raja, I am pleased with your devotion. I myself shall be born in your household as your son. When my birth takes place, temple bells will ring on their own, and divine light will spread across the land." Hearing this, King Ajmalji's heart overflowed with joy. He returned to his palace and shared the blessed news with Queen Maina Devi. Together, their hearts were filled with new life and hope. The moment of descent. And so, the destined day finally arrived. In the year Vikram Samvat, 1409, approximately 1352 CE, on the second day of the bright half of the Bhadrapad month, in the village of Undu, Barmer district of Rajasthan, the royal couple was blessed with children. First was born Vir Ramdev, and in the same cradle appeared Baba Ramdev Ji. With his birth, miraculous events unfolded. The water stored in vessels throughout the palace transformed into milk. Temple bells began ringing by themselves. Sacred footprints, marked with vermilion, appeared leading to the cradle. The entire town was bathed in divine light. All these signs revealed that Lord Vishnu himself had incarnated on earth. King Ajmal and Queen Maina's hearts overflowed with immeasurable joy. They knew their prayers had been answered, and that the Lord himself had come into their home as their son. Note: according to the tradition of the Meghwal community, there is another belief that the true parents of Baba Ramdev Ji were Sayarji Meghwal and Mangani Devi, and that the child was later taken to the king's palace. Both accounts are cherished with reverence, and together they highlight the same truth, that Baba Ramdev Ji's life was a message of compassion, equality, and service to humanity. As time passed, young Ramdev Ji entered his childhood years. Even as a boy, a divine radiance and extraordinary powers began to shine through him. One day, young Ramdev Ji insisted that his father, King Ajmalji, give him a horse to ride. The king worried. He is still a child. If he rides a horse, he may get hurt. So, to satisfy his son's request, the king asked a tailor to stitch a toy horse out of cloth. But when little Ramdev Ji mounted the cloth horse, an astonishing miracle took place before everyone's eyes. The cloth horse suddenly rose into the sky and began flying among the clouds. King Ajmalji, stunned, turned to the tailor and asked, "What magic have you woven into this creation?" With folded hands, the tailor replied humbly, "Maharaj, this is not my craft. This is your son's divine power." During this wondrous flight, young Ramdev Ji noticed a little girl sitting by a tree. He brought her back with him to the palace and later made her his foster sister. Her name was Dali Bai. Dali Bai dedicated her life to service and became one of Ramdev Ji's greatest devotees. To this day, her shrine and resting place remain at Runicha Dham, known as Dali Bai Ki Jal, a sacred site visited by countless devotees. Another miraculous childhood story of Baba Ramdev Ji is widely remembered. Once, while playing, Ramdev Ji wandered up to Masuria Hill, where the great Saint Baba Balanath was deep in meditation. Baba Balanath, who would later become Ramdev Ji's spiritual guru, warned the child, "Son, it is not safe to be here. A fearsome demon named Bhairav dwells nearby. His sense of smell is so sharp that he can detect a human from miles away. He devours anyone who enters. Only the power of my penance keeps him from attacking me, but no one else can remain here safely." Just as he spoke, the terrible demon appeared, roaring as he advanced toward the ashram. Baba Balanath quickly hid young Ramdev Ji beneath a blanket inside the hut. The demon growled, "There is a human here." "I smell it." Baba Balanath calmly replied, "There is no one here." But the demon noticed the blanket shifting and realized someone was hidden beneath it. He rushed forward and began pulling at it, yet to his shock, the blanket seemed endless, stretching without end no matter how hard he pulled. Terrified and confused, the demon tried to flee. At that moment, young Ramdev Ji emerged, radiant with divine power. He pursued the demon and seized him. Unable to withstand the boy's brilliance, the demon was destroyed on the spot. From that day onward, the entire region of Pokhran was freed from the terror of Pyrav. The people's hearts echoed with praise for the greatness of young Ramdev Ji. From his earliest years, Baba Ramdev Ji dedicated himself to the service of people. He opposed the divisions of caste and fought against untouchability and other evils. He always relieved the suffering of the poor and treated all people with equal respect. As Ramdev Ji grew into adolescence, his parents arranged his marriage. In Vikram Samvat 1426, he was married in Amarkot, present-day Sindh, Pakistan, to Queen Naitalde. But Queen Naitalde had been disabled since birth. Her hands and feet did not function. When the sacred wedding rounds, Firas, began, Ramdev Ji gently held her hand and said, "Rise." And in that instant, a miracle occurred. Her body was healed, and before everyone's eyes she stood upright and whole. The entire kingdom of Amarkot resounded with cries of "Victory to Ramdev Ji." Thereafter, Baba Ramdev Ji, together with his wife, laid the foundation for many social reforms, dedicating their lives to the welfare of the people. Now let us understand why Baba Ramdev Ji came to be known as the Hindu Pir and Ramsa Pir. As Baba Ramdev Ji's fame spread far and wide, word of his miracles reached even as far as Mecca and Medina. There, 5 great Muslim Sufi saints, Pirs, heard of him. They say that this man, Ramdev, grants sight to the blind, limbs to the disabled, and children to the childless. Let us go and see for ourselves whether this is true or merely legend. The 5 Pirs journeyed toward Rajasthan. On their way, Baba Ramdev Ji himself met them. Bowing respectfully, he greeted them and said, "Welcome. Tell me, how may I serve you?" The Pirs replied, "We have come seeking Baba Ramdev Ji." Smiling, Baba said, "Then please, proceed to my palace." When the Pir arrived at the palace, they were astonished, for Baba Ramdev Ji was already there, seated and waiting to welcome them. The saints looked at one another in wonder, thinking, "How is this possible? He just met us on the road." Baba then invited them warmly. "You have come to my home. Please accept a meal before you depart." The Pirs replied, "We only eat from our special bowls," and those bowls were left behind in Mecca. Baba Ramdev Ji smiled softly, and in that very instant the 5 bowls flew through the air and landed before the saints. Overwhelmed by this miracle, the Pirs bowed down and said, "Until now people called us Pirs, but from today you shall be known as the Pir of Pirs, Ramsa Pir." And so, Baba Ramdev Ji came to be honored as both Hindu Pir and Ramsa Pir, revered equally by Hindus and Muslims alike. The countless miracles throughout his life, Baba Ramdev Ji performed many extraordinary acts, restoring life to the dead, rejoining severed heads, giving sight to the blind, granting limbs to the disabled. But his greatest purpose was not miracles. It was to bring social reform, to end untouchability, to break the chains of caste discrimination, and to serve the suffering and the poor. The founding of Runicha, Ramdevra, Baba Ramdev Ji also established a town, which he named Runicha. Today, this very place is world-renowned as Ramdevra. At that time, Runicha was a dry, barren region plagued by water scarcity. Moved by the suffering of the people, Baba Ramdev Ji had a great reservoir constructed here, which is today known as Ramsarovar or Ramsagar. The final Samadhi time passed. On the 11th day of the bright half of the month of Bhadrapad, in Vikram Samvat 1442, around 1385 CE, Baba Ramdev Ji resolved to take Jivit Samadhi, entering meditation and leaving his body while still alive. Near the Ramsa rover, a deep pit was dug for his Samadhi. When his foster sister, Dali Bai, heard the news, she rushed to him crying, "Brother, what is this that you are doing?" Baba Ramdev Ji replied calmly, "Sister, my work here is complete. My time has come." But Dali Bai insisted, "This land is mine. You cannot take Samadhi here." Baba answered, "Sister, I had this place prepared for myself." So Dali Bai placed a condition. "If during the digging of this pit my bracelet, comb, and thread are found, then this land shall be proven as mine." Soon after, as the digging continued, those very items emerged from the earth. Dali Bai declared, "Then this place and this day belong to me. I shall take Samadhi here." With Baba's blessing, Dali Bai descended into the pit and took Jivit Samadhi. Baba Ramdev Ji then had another pit prepared nearby for his own Samadhi. In his final moments, he gave this message: "This place belongs to everyone. Here there will be no caste, no discrimination. Whoever comes here with true devotion, their wishes shall be fulfilled." Saying this, blessing the people, Baba Ramdev Ji entered Jivit Samadhi at that sacred place. To this day, Dali Bai's bracelet is preserved in the temple, and Ramdevra Dham continues to attract millions upon millions of devotees every year. Truly, the miraculous stories of Baba Ramdev Ji are countless. They cannot all be contained in a single telling. Each tale of his life is like a scripture in itself. That is why we shall continue to share more stories of his miracles in future episodes. If there are any errors in this retelling, please forgive us. Our only purpose is to spread the glory and message of Baba Ramdev Ji. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others. I, Narinder Singh, thank you sincerely for watching this video.